A stray dog found a lost kitten and became its constant companion. The emotional bond they shared touched everyone when a family wanted to adopt just the dog. In a small town in South Carolina that was struggling to recover from a hurricane, a touching story would unfold. Welcome to Wonderbot Animals. Despite many losing their loved ones, they found new connections in their community. This sense of finding new family members wasn't limited to humans, as many pets were left without homes. The town had come to unofficially care for these animals, and this dog was one of them. Known to the locals, she had been pregnant at the season's start and was often seen looking for food in the garbage to survive. Feeling sorry for her, people started feeding her their leftover food. She made an abandoned building her home, where she would wait outside for kids to come and play with her. The residents were familiar with her daily presence and made sure she was fed every day. One day, a local woman named Aisha decided to visit the dog with some leftover steak, hoping to give the expecting mother some much-needed nutrition. As she neared the building, a distressing sound stopped her in her tracks. It was a desperate cry that sent chills down her spine. Hurrying inside, Aisha was met with a heart-wrenching scene. The dog, dirty and struggling, was in the midst of labor. The beginnings of her puppies were visible, prompting Aisha to rush forward in an attempt to comfort her. However, the frightened dog barked sharply, prompting Aisha to leave the food and seek veterinary help. She found Dr. Amir at the local hospital and explained the situation. The day was unusually quiet, so Dr. Amir quickly gathered necessary supplies and accompanied Aisha to the site. Although the dog initially reacted with aggression, Dr. Amir managed to soothe her. Tragically, the first puppy was stillborn, deeply affecting Dr. Amir. The situation worsened as they discovered none of the litter had survived. After the ordeal, they transported the weakened mother to the hospital for care. She was in poor condition, suffering from malnutrition, dehydration, and flea infestation. Dr. Amir and Aisha provided care and buried the puppies, drawing concern from the community who visited to offer their support. Over time, the dog remained despondent and isolated, a behavior noticed by both Dr. Amir and Aisha. They brainstormed for ways to lift her spirits, deciding to collect toys from the community. The response was overwhelming, and soon they presented the toys to the dog. Initially hesitant, she eventually began to engage with the toys, showing signs of happiness for the first time in a while. Dr. Amir and Aisha were overjoyed, committing to support her recovery and ponder her future when appropriate. For the moment, the joy of seeing her wag her tail was enough. As the dog began to regain her health, Dr. Amir encouraged her to take walks to strengthen her legs. The people of the community, especially the kids, were thrilled to see her active again and would leave food out for her during her strolls. On one such walk, the dog returned to her former shelter, waiting at the door as if expecting her puppies to emerge. However, she was drawn inside by an unexpected sound. Investigating, she discovered a new occupant trapped in a hole. Unable to reach it herself, the dog rushed back to town, barking to alert the townspeople to the emergency. Her urgent behavior caught everyone's attention, leading her straight to the hospital to fetch Dr. Amir. He initially mistook her distress for a personal ailment, but soon realized she was signaling for help. Aisha, having noticed the commotion, arrived at the hospital. Understanding the dog's insistence, they prepared to follow her. She led them to the building where she had her litter, directly to the trapped newcomer. Dr. Amir, equipped with a flashlight, gloves and a shawl, carefully extracted a tiny kitten from the hole. The dog, immediately protective, accompanied them back to the hospital, where Dr. Amir conducted a checkup on the kitten. Throughout the examination, the dog stayed close, circling the kitten with unwavering attention. When the community members later inquired about the dog's earlier distressed behavior, Dr. Amir showed them the kitten, explaining its need for affection and care. The sight of the dog loyally guarding the kitten, now its adopted charge, moved everyone. They were touched by the dog's devotion and the unexpected bond that had formed between the two animals. The dog, having lost her own puppies, had now taken a kitten under her wing, treating it as her own. In the days that followed, their bond only grew stronger. The dog watched carefully as Dr. Amir fed the kitten milk, and the kitten clung to the dog as if it were her own pup. Once the kitten could walk, they began exploring their surroundings together, much to the delight of the local community. It was a heartwarming sight for everyone to see the dog adopting the kitten as her own child. The dog returned to her daily activities, including visiting shops where the shopkeepers would leave milk out for the unlikely duo, enchanting everyone who saw them together. People took photos of their playful antics, and the community looked out for their safety. Before we continue, give this video a like to help it reach 10K likes and subscribe to the channel. Dr. Amir, amidst his busy schedule treating other animals, would still make time to care for the two, but nothing prepared him for the moment he found the dog nursing the kitten. It was an extraordinary sight that underscored the remarkable capacity for animals to care for one another across species lines. Dr. Amir was moved by their connection and contemplated finding a permanent home for them. After discussing with Aisha, who had been instrumental in the dog's recovery but couldn't adopt them due to her own circumstances, he reached out to a colleague skilled in arranging adoptions for strays. He hoped to find a family that would welcome both the dog and the kitten together, emphasizing their inseparable bond in his message. When the colleague posted the images online, he omitted the crucial detail that the dog and kitten were a package deal. Later, he informed Dr. Amir about an interested party for the dog alone. Elated, Dr. Amir reached out to them. The family, having fallen in love with the dog's picture, eagerly discussed the possibility of adding her to their home. Dr. Amir arranged a meeting and informed Aisha of the potential new home for both animals. On the day of the meeting, after ensuring the dog and kitten looked their best, Dr. Amir introduced the family to them. The family, consisting of parents and their two children, seemed perfect, especially with the daughter's evident excitement about getting a pet. However, the situation took a turn when the family expressed interest only in the dog, unaware of the adoption condition to take both animals. Despite Dr. Amir's attempts to explain the importance of not separating the two, the family insisted on adopting only the dog. As Dr. Amir reluctantly attempted to separate them, the dog's protective instincts kicked in. She growled and refused to leave the kitten, demonstrating a profound bond that surprised everyone. Despite Dr. Amir's efforts, both animals resisted separation, with the kitten even trying to protect the dog. Witnessing their unbreakable bond, Dr. Amir was emotionally moved and abandoned the attempt to separate them. The dog and kitten fled, seeking comfort in each other's presence, while Aisha calmed them down. This poignant display of loyalty and love deeply touched Aisha, highlighting the challenge of finding a home willing to adopt both animals together. Despite the difficulty, the undeniable connection between the dog and kitten made it clear they could not be separated, no matter how much more challenging it made finding them a forever home. Watching the drama unfold, the family was deeply moved by the unmistakable bond between the dog and kitten. Despite their initial hesitation about taking in both animals, the daughter's passionate plea changed their minds. She argued it would be cruel to separate such devoted friends, promising to shoulder the responsibility for the kitten herself. After a brief discussion, the parents agreed, deciding to adopt both animals to keep them together. They informed Dr. Amir of their decision, bringing joy to everyone involved. As the dog warmly greeted Dr. Amir, accepting a treat, the children eagerly met their new pets, quickly forming a bond. The adoption process was completed amidst this happy chaos, cementing the future of the two animals with their new family. Dr. Amir, capturing this moment with a photograph, bid them farewell, hiding his tears of happiness as they departed. Aisha, openly emotional, was heartened by the thought of the pair finding a loving home together. She spread the news throughout the town, sharing the touching story of the dog and kitten's loyalty to each other. The community, already close-knit and compassionate, celebrated the news, even as they anticipated missing the pair's presence. Aisha reassured the children that other stray animals would still benefit from their kindness, highlighting the ongoing need for love and care in their community. The story of the dog and kitten not only ended with them finding a home, but also reinforced the town's commitment to compassion and support for one another. Can you believe how the stars aligned to bring this dog and kitten together? Let us know what you think in the comments. Also, don't forget to like this video, share it, and subscribe for more.